Hello everybody and welcome to what I thought was going to be the final part of the Pokemon Puzzle Challenge LP, but I'm turning this into part 3 because I really underestimated how long those credits were going to be. So I'll have this be part 3 and then me fighting the champion is part 4. So with that said, Elite Four will. I have become stronger, and I have a racially insensitive Pokemon. I'm just kidding. Jynx is not racially insensitive. Or at least, if you're not a dumb American. I'm just kidding. Americans aren't dumb. All of my American viewers, so all of them, you're not dumb. It's not really the Americans that are dumb. It's the society that doesn't really know how to research Pokemon that I'm more or less insulting. Because, Jynx is not based off of any racial blackface or anything. It's not. Like, it appears that way, I guess. But Jynx isn't based off any racial slurs. And if you look closely, this Jynx doesn't have the face change yet. Like, I don't think his face was changed to purple yet. I don't think. So, this video might get canceled or something. Who knows? But, what I'm trying to get to is that if you do your research, Jynx is not based off of any racial thing. Jynx is actually based off a Japanese mythological creature myth known as the Yaumba. The Yaumba is a witch, I guess you can say, somewhat of a witch. It's basically the Japanese version of a siren. Like it uses its beautiful, instead of using singing though, it uses its beautiful dancing body, which it constantly talks about in the Pokedex tons of times. It uses its beautiful dancing body in order to lure people in. And it's usually people that are like weary from traveling during the winter snow and the Arctic. And it lures them in using its beautiful dancing. And then the hair that it has, which again the Pokedex constantly brings up, is the hair eats the unexpected person's soul. And that was the phone. Ignore that. And I'm not doing this over. So yeah, with that said, it uses its hair in order to lure in people with its beautiful dancing, and then the hair will eat the soul of said victim, that of the weary traveler or whatever. So Jynx is actually a pretty scary ass thing. It like eats the souls of people. So yeah. Good night, kids. Sleep with that on your conscience. This is basically supposed to be like a fairy tale. It's a Japanese fairy tale or folklore or whatever you want to call it. But Jynx is not racially insensitive. The Yaumba just happens to look like blackface. But that's what the Yaumba looks like. It's a mythical creature that takes place in the winter areas, in the Arctic areas. That's why it's part ice. And it's part psychic because, you know, it's a witch, and back then they put psychic and magic together, I guess. That's why Kadabra, Abra, Alakazam, you know, all of those. Which, funny story, I think psychic types are just having a bad rep with the law or something, because Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam, I think, almost got sued by some magician who went by the same name. So yeah, psychic type Pokemon in Gen 1 were really controversial Pokemon. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Chikorita. And I end up using Chikorita in this part twice, and unfortunately Chikorita's going to die at the end of this part. Sorry, you guys. But somebody, Karen, is a cheating whore, so yeah. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, fans, if I couldn't finish this without losing any Pokemon. I really did. But it was either me try this again for the 27th time, because this is literally like the 20th time I've tried to do this without losing all of my Pokemon. It was either me try this again for the 27th time or just go ahead and get it over with so I can do my next LP, which I'm so excited about. And if you don't know what that is, watch the last part, because I accidentally say what it is. But yeah. I really can't wait to do the next LP of this next game. So it's literally my favorite Pokemon game. So I didn't want to waste any time. And yeah, there's your clue. It's a Pokemon game. But yeah, I really can't wait to do the next LP of that. So I figured there's no more time to push this along. Basically the way I was thinking of it, I was supposed to have done the next LP like almost a month ago, but I got held back because I was trying to get a perfect on this. I was trying to perfect this without losing any Pokemon, period. But that doesn't end up happening, and you know, I can take a loss. I'm not ashamed of a loss on this game. And it's only one. It's not like I got to continue or anything. It's not like I kept losing. It was just one small inconsistent loss. It's just like when you're trying to get when you're recording yourself trying to get all S ranks on a Sonic game. But the LP curse just plain won't have that. You have to at least get an A on 1 to ruin your S rank. Or your A rank. Because in Sonic Adventure, I think in Sonic Adventures 2 and Heroes, you can't get an S rank, you can get an A rank. But enough about Sonic. On screen, we're fighting Koga again. Yay! And what I mean by again is that if you've only played Pokemon Generation 1 and fought Koga as a gym leader, now he's been upgraded to an Elite Four, which I think is a cool concept. Koga's the only gym leader I know who's shown that he can upgrade himself to Elite Four status. So apparently it's like a promotion. So yeah, gym leaders can be promoted to Elite Four members, which is really cool. I really think that's cool. I wish more gym leaders had done that. Yeah, there have been some Frontier Brains that have become Elite Four members. I think Lady Caitlyn from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Black and White 2. Or is it Black and White 1? Black and White 1, excuse me. She's in Black and White 2 as well, I think. But Lady Caitlyn from Pokemon Diamond Pearl and Black and White, well, Pokemon Platinum, excuse me, and Black and White, she got promoted from, well, I don't know if it's a promotion, but she transferred from Frontier Brain to Elite Four member, so that was a pretty cool concept. And she reappears again in the Johto region as another Frontier Brain again, so, yeah. I don't know what Lady Caitlyn is. She's in the anime too. But yeah, with that said, we beat Koga. And now, right after we beat Koga, we're about to get another reappearance from someone from a generation before. It's Bruno from Generation 1. So apparently you can keep your status as an Elite Four member too, because Bruno was an Elite Four member in the last generation. So that's how that goes. And I think in Generation 2, the Pokemon League for Generation 1 and 2 happened in the same area. So, if you were the Pokemon League happened in the same spot. Which is weird, because in Generation 1, you don't see any Johto region Pokemon. But I guess that's only because, the game hasn't technically been made yet. There's no other excuses you can really give it. But that's basically what happens. But we're fighting him in his Hitmontop now. He has a Hitmontop, which I think was the most odd of the Hitmo evolutionary line out of Tyrogue's evolutions, because of just the concept of getting a Hitmontop. I think you have to make its attack and defense are even when it levels up to level 20, which I have no problem doing. But it still makes it doesn't make it any less odd. And its whole upside down motif, which I think is pretty cool. There's a lot of how Malamar, the new Pokemon in Gen 5, you have to turn the freaking 3DS upside down in order to evolve it from Inkay. I think that concept should be used for Tyrogue to evolve in Hitmontop. That'd be really cool. Just turn the DS upside down while it levels up to level 20, because that's a lot better than trying to, well, it'd be a lot weirder, but it's a lot easier to keep track of that than to make sure its attack and defense are even, because Lord knows when the attack and defense are even for your Tyrogue, or at least how you do it. I mean, I know there's a way to control that, but still, it's more of a hassle to do that than to just flat out have your 3DS upside down. Another Pokemon I think they should do that for is Voltorb when it evolves into Electrode. That way it makes sense. Cause then it's like, I get it. It's the difference is that. Like, if you're gonna bring this new concept to Pokemon, at least have some Pokemon that can, from a previous gen, that can actually benefit from that. So it at least makes more sense. Yeah. And I honestly thought I was gonna lose there because it was getting a little laggy. Yeah, the emulators aren't always the best. I want to try my best to use physical games as many times as possible. But the games I have now are games I can only record via emulator because I've mostly been recording Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games. But I will be doing console games at one point. I just need to find out how to make my Dazzle work properly because Dazzles are weird. When I used the Dazzle and it recorded, like, I was recording Sonic Generations, just, not for an LP, I was doing just to test it out because it was a game I knew I could fly through. And when I was testing it out, and then I pressed play to see the results of my recording, it was weird. Sonic was like, the game was like rushing, like the frame rate was completely off, and things were just going really annoyingly fast. It was odd, so I'm going to figure out how to make a Dazzle work properly. And then when I finally get it to work properly, I'll get back to you all on on some console games that I should do LPs of. But with that said, it's the cheating bitch Karen. Woohoo! Elite Four Karen. I hate her guts. I hate her. She, you know how some, like I already told you all this, but some of the Elite Four members and gym leaders, their health bars can go up. It's to signify that they have recovered from the damage that you've given them. Just like when you recover from the damage they give you. Unfortunately, no matter how much damage I've done to this Marcro, it somehow finds a way to recover, and I end up using Chikorita twice. I guess maybe that was Chikorita's punishment for going twice, being greedy and going twice. But I lost track of which Pokemon that I used, and I was trying to have everybody be used evenly, but I wasn't paying attention, and this happened. Playing this for an hour straight can do that to you. So yeah, with that said, I end up fighting off this Marcro, and I bring its health down to a fair amount, and I'm doing a lot of damage to it, and I do a lot of chains and everything, and I even managed to get out of a lot of trouble with Chikorita, and for some odd reason, for some stupid, unexplained reason, the Marcro not only lives through all of my chained assaults, it somehow manages to heal its health all the way back up and manages to get unnecessarily large amounts of chains. So then Chikorita ends up getting hit, and by the time I don't have enough time to do anything, and then I end up losing this battle, and I hate it. I freaking hate it. It wasn't the fact that I lost because of lack of skill. It was just Karen getting stupidly lucky. That's basically what won this battle for her. She got really dumbfoundingly lucky, and I hate it. I would have rather her beat me just out of us having a long battle, and because the longer the battle goes, the faster the blocks that you have will rise. That way, the game encourages you to hey, beat these opponents quick, or else shit's gonna get real. So look at this. You see those chains? I'm just wailing on her, and for some reason, this thing still manages to live. It's like none of my chain damage is doing anything, and I hate it. So yeah, with that said, I end up getting a bunch of combos too. Like I said, combos are a lot easier to do than chains in this type of gameplay. So yeah, boom, I get that, and that allows me to get the blue chain that's on the bottom. And I'm surviving all of the damage she's dishing out. Look at that, I'm freaking finding ways to ignore that, and I get rid of this. And yeah, she recovers almost half of her health right after that. It's most of it's just an endurance test at this point. So yeah, I get a mega chain over here. Look at that, 4 blocks and another chain that I didn't even expect on the side. You would think that'd be more than enough damage to beat her, but it wasn't. Karen, you're really annoying. But yeah, go ahead and get that, and that should be a chain. That should be more than enough to beat her. And then I think I try to move that block along the side too. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, never mind. I thought that was the one where I end up getting beat. And then, yeah, there's Karen's health. It's still... Normally, if I were fighting anybody else, their health would be literally at a small little sliver of health left, but it's not. and then Marco somehow finds a way to recover from all of that, so it's back at that much health again. So it's like, I really hate that I lost this too, because I was giving it all I had. But yeah, there we go. And there we go, I get 2 more chains. But Marco's back at half health again. It's relentless. It's relentless. It's just sad. The champion is not even the hardest opponent in this game. The champion's nothing compared to Karen, which is very sad to say. I don't know how to react to that exactly. The Karen is like literally the hardest opponent you have to face in this freaking battle, or in this freaking game, period. The champion is literally nothing compared to her, and I hate that. I think I try to recover here. Oh, no, there we go. Again, I recover, and Marco somehow has that much health again. Not sure how. And then I freaking get another chain here, and another one right here. I was like, I'm not even sure how Marco ended up getting all this damage on me in the first place. I know I got rid of everything using a recovery. I think, yeah, I ended up knocking that out. Ooh, I think this is where I end up losing. Oh, no, I recover from that too. So it's like, Jesus Christ, out of all the things I've recovered, you would think I wouldn't lose. See, I end up getting 2 more chains there, and Marco somehow ends up at half again. It's like, Jesus Christ, this thing won't let up, and I hate it. This part is going to be long as crap too, by the way. Like, it's going to be longer than my normal 15 minutes, and that's only because, 1, I end up losing, and 2, once you get towards the end game, a lot of these battles become long because a lot of these opponents won't let up. Like I said, Dragonite, the Lance uses Dragonite, by the way. Lance's Dragonite, it's not hard, it just won't let up. Like, the battle to fight off Dragonite takes a really long time. An annoyingly long time. Like, alright, look at that. Marco has literally almost no health left. I should be able to beat it at this point. I think this is where I end up losing. Yep, there it is. There it is. And then you saw that tiny sliver of health that Marco had. I probably should have just moved that block down so I'd have more time to work. But with that said, Chikorita ends up losing, and that's what happens when you lose a Pokemon. So I guess that's a chance to show that off. And when all of the blocks, you have no more blocks left, you get a continue. And then once you get a continue, you can try again with all of your Pokemon, but Professor Elm will be like, hey, you won, but you used the continue, so that makes you a bitch. Well, yeah, long story short. So with that said, I end up using Cyndaquil to finish off Karen, which I know I used Cyndaquil once before to fight off against Jinx. I end up not using a lot of the I end up using a lot of the same Pokemon again, only because, you know, I don't know what else to use. It really doesn't, like I said, it really doesn't matter what you use in this game. There's almost literally no differences in what type of Pokemon you use, so it's nothing special if you use a specific Pokemon for a specific thing. Like, I figured if you want to unlock a Pichu, then you would have to use Pikachu in a battle in order to win, because, you know, they're part of the evolution or whatnot. But no, it doesn't matter. You can use any Pokemon. I ended up getting Pichu. I forgot how I ended up getting him. You can look up the whatchamacallits in order to, and they'll show you how to get them. But you can look up the website or whatever. Or not website, you can look up like a cheat code website in order to figure out how to get all of them. But they're supposed to be like secrets. Like, hey, you did this, now you get this as a secret reward. Because literally when I first started playing Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, I was unaware of unlocking other Pokemon. So I didn't know what those blocks were there for exactly. The extra spaces that Chikorita, Totodile, and Cyndaquil didn't take up. And then all of a sudden, this woman comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, you battle very well. Would you like to challenge me? And I'm like, sure, why not? Then I see that she has a... I saw that she had a Pikachu, and I ended up beating the Pikachu, and she's like, hey, I think Pikachu will be happier with you, and then I end up winning Pikachu, and yeah, that's what ends up happening. Same with Meryl and, what else? Same with Meryl and Pichu. I was so happy when I got Pichu. I was freaking just ecstatic. I love Pichu. Raichu's my favorite Pokemon, period. and I just love, like if I were to have a mascot Pokemon, just a Pokemon to not fight with at all, it would more likely be Pichu. Either that or Dedenne. Yeah, Dedenne rolled around and ended up becoming another one of my favorite like mascot-based Pokemon, only because it's a mini Raichu. That's basically what Dedenne looks like. And come on now, I cannot not fall in love with a freaking mini Raichu. It's a mini Raichu. Like there's no part of me that wouldn't love that. Mini Raichu? Seriously? That thing's adorable. But yeah, right, in terms of like which Pokemon I would use fighting wise, like competition wise, it's Raichu, no doubt. Like I know it's low tier or whatnot, or it's in U tier or whatever, but I just love Raichu. I don't give a shit about tier. I love Raichu. And Pokemon should be about which Pokemon you would love to use in battle, not which Pokemon competitive wise is better. So yeah, that shouldn't be a big thing. Like, there's literally 700, there's more than 700 Pokemon now. There's 700 like, what, 18? You shouldn't be restricted to just the Pokemon that are competitively good. Like, take a drink every time you see a Gengar on a Wi-Fi battle. You'll probably end up dying, so don't make that into a drinking game. And with that said, we beat the cheating Karen. Yeah, take that, Karen, you cheating whore. Yeah, suck it. And with that said, we will fight the champion on the final part of Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. I'm sorry that this wasn't part of the finale, but, you know, I realized how long the credits were, and I was like, I don't want my viewers sitting through that many credits. So I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the Guy 3, out.